Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Transformers Friday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with something a little bit different from the Toybox. And this is a new, basically a fill-in series for when I don't have new items to review. I'm gonna take a look back at some old items that I maybe missed reviewing or just had before I was doing reviews. I know, that's a long time to remember ago. Not really. But anyway, this series is usually going to be a little bit different. It generally won't cover packaging, and that's really going to be the only difference. However, for this inaugural edition, I did, for some reason, still have my box for this figure. So we'll take a quick look at that as well. But what I will be showing you today from the Toybox is the Amazon exclusive Power of the Primes Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And again, this isn't going to be a feature in every From the Toybox episode. I will offer a look at the packaging where I'm able to, if for some reason I kept the box because I like the artwork on it or something about it. This one I kept, in fact, because I like the insert there. You can see on the inside all the symbols for the 13 primes from Power of the Primes. And I'm actually using this box for instruction storage, for Transformer instructions. You know, I go in there, and this is everything that's pre-siege that I have. Those instructions are going in this box, but that's beside the point. Let's take a quick look at the packaging. And on the top, you got Power of the Primes, Choose Your Prime, and a window to let some light in from the top to help showcase the figure. Again, you have that nice insert with the symbols for all the primes in there. It says Transformers, and then it's got, you can see in there, it's the Decepticon logo, and it's got some Cybertronian writing all over it, and it says Transformers right there. Nice big window that would showcase the figure where he's still in there. And then we've got some artwork of Nemesis Prime wielding Giza. And it says Power of the Primes, Leader Class, Evolution, Nemesis Prime, Decepticon, Age 8 and Up, Hasbro print, Transformers, Generations. On the bottom, we have small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print, and a barcode, and authentic. And on this side, we have Power of the Primes, and some nice artwork there of Nemesis packs. Orion Nemesis, what's his name? Nemesis packs there, and Giza, and just some explosions and stuff in the background. On the other side, Power of the Primes, Choose Your Prime, and then there's all the symbols for the Prime Masters. Again, authentic. And then on the back, this may be actual product shots of this stuff rather than digital renders, because this may be in the days before digital renders. I'm not completely sure. But there we have Nemesis Prime. He transforms to complete truck mode in 35 steps. And Nemesis Pax transforms to the truck cab in 17 steps. And then, of course, there's Giza, and it shows you can fit the Prime Masters inside there. And it says, Power of the Primes, choose your Prime. Just plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. Decepticon, Evolution, Nemesis Prime. If Optimus Prime is the universe's shining beacon, his evil clone Nemesis Prime is its doomsday black hole. He possesses the same strength and intelligence as the Autobot leader, but is vile and without remorse and driven to eliminate all in his path. And then it shows, you know, you can take the trailer off the truck, I suppose. More small, fine legalese print. Warning! Don't stick things in your pile that do not belong there in any language, and don't give it to babies. Hasbro. That, my friends, is a look at this packaging. Now let's take a look at the figure in its alt mode and its accessories. And here we have the handy dandy instruction sheet, ages 8 and up, Generations, Transformers, Power of the Prime, Nemesis Prime, Evolution, Nemesis Prime, as a matter of fact. Nice artwork there. And on the inside, for the most part, these instructions are very clear. Sometimes in this line, Power of the Primes, the Prime Wars, or Earth Wars, whatever you want to call it, sometimes the instructions could be a bit blurry on this paper. And I don't know if it's the paper, if it was the printing process, or what. But as you can see, this one is printed fairly clearly with mostly easy to follow instructions. And I'm trying to show you the other side of it. And it shows Power of the Primes, and it shows you the gimmicks and Nemesis packs. And so, very large instruction sheet as well. Well, let's get into the nitty gritty of it. Here we have handy dandy tweezers. And here we have his main weapon, which I'm assuming, like Optimus Prime's, is an ion cannon. At least that's what I remember it being referred to. Quite, you know, it does have quite a bit of waffling in it. But for the most part, it does have a nice detail to it. And it's cool looking on top of that. And then here we have one of the arm cannons. He comes with 2 of these. And as you can see, the bottom side of it is mostly hollow. But when you attach it to stuff, you know, you just see this side. So, and again, nice molded details. This is really cool. And in fact, this one shows up again in the Nemesis Prime spoiler pack number 2 for War for Cybertron. So this comes again with that, which makes it look, you know, it's made for this leader size class figure, not the other. And so it looks a bit oversized. And there are 2 of those, and they are exactly alike. And here's one of his swords. And of course, this one also again comes with that War for Cybertron Trilogy spoiler pack number 2, Nemesis Prime, along with this sword, which is also Giza, and we'll get to that when we look into transformations. But as you can see, there's the little buzzard head or whatever, bird, condor, some type of bird. It's not a chicken, though. Now that brings us to Nemesis Prime's alt mode. And I want to say the overall silhouette of it is not bad. It is quite gappy in places. And just, you know, stuff you don't see a whole lot in War for Cybertron or Legacy. You know, there's some gappiness still, but not as, you know, this it's a big improvement on this. And again, this isn't the best alt mode. It is passable alt mode. And I mean, you can tell what it's supposed to be, but as you can see here, it's, you know, it doesn't quite line up properly. And it's really weird because the head, the Nemesis Pack's head, is what you connect the trailer to, so it's a little weird. And you know, there's some paint apps on it, and it does have some nice molded detail in some areas, and it's not a horrible figure by any means. But the alt mode, again, it's passable, but it's not really what we look at with today's newer stuff. And as you can see, it's super gappy right in there, and some legacy stuff might not even cover that up. But you know, this is what we were used to at the time. And I say at the time, this is pre-2019, so I want to say this one was actually released in 2018, I do believe. But it does have a nice shiny sticker there, Decepticon logo. And again, gappy, very panely. And you know, some of it matches up nice and some of it doesn't. And then again, you know, visible arm syndrome here. You know, again, this is the way it was back then, and you liked it, I guess. Now, as far as weapon storage, this one is the same as the Evolution Optimus Prime, and you notice it has some round ports here, and on either side of the arms in this trailer mode, you can see there's two pegs, and you kind of have to separate it out, and it's best to do this when you're transforming it. You can also use this port back here in the back, and in fact I think that's the one you're supposed to use, but it would store right there, and so he could use it. And I may, if I remember, I'll show that off when I do transformation. I don't want to bust it all apart right now. And as far as the swords, there's really no place to store the swords truly. I mean, you can put that one there, but that, you know, that looks weird, silly. And the arm cannons, of course, they can mount on here. You have to flip open this panel here, and then you see there's a port here. There's two pegs here, so you can make it be above the trailer, or you know, sit semi-flush with the trailer. And of course you can still aim it up and down, and that's about it. So that, my friends, is a look at Power the Prime's Evolution Leader Class Nemesis Prime in his alt mode. It's time for alt mode comparisons, and here we have the Power the Prime's Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime with the Power of the Prime's Leader Class Evolution Optimus Prime. Here we have Power of the Prime's Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime with the Walmart exclusive Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 RID, or Robots in Disguise 2000 Universe Scourge, the precursor to Nemesis Prime. Here's the Power of the Prime's Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime with the Netflix War for Cybertron Trilogy Spoiler Pack number 2 Nemesis Prime with the non-F trailer upgrades. Non-F Productions trailer upgrades, I guess I should say. For our final set of alt mode comparisons, here we have the Power of the Prime's Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime with the Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Amazon exclusive Generation Selects War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our first comedy portion of this program, where I attempt to transform this part of the Transformer in question, which is, of course, the Evolution Nemesis Prime. And here we have the cab section, and we're going to transform him into Nemesis packs. And so the first thing you want to do is lift the arms up like so. Then you'll notice there's, well, maybe you probably can't really see it here on camera. There's tabs from the back of the truck up into this chest piece, the legs into the chest piece rather. And you want to separate those tabs out. Then you can kind of, well, no, you really can't still straighten those legs up because you have to flip these panels up. Then you're free to put the legs down and to separate them. And you want to turn them facing forward like so. And then you want to flip the toes out. And there's that part. Now the next thing you want to do is turn it around. There we go. And you'll see there's a hinge right here, and it doesn't pull that way, so you want to untab it from the front, and then you'll see it's on this double hinge arm type thing, mechanism. So you do that, and then you move it forward as far as it'll go, and then you'll notice there's a tab right here, and then there's a slot right here and here, and that's the same on both sides. So you just flip those to where they tab in, and it makes a really big backpack. So then you want to separate the arms, and they're not tabbed in there or anything. They just swing on these hinges right here. And move the arms down, and then swing them at the bicep. Forward. Then you'll notice the Nemesis Prime head is in here, but the Nemesis Pack's head is right here. So you just want to flip the chest piece up, and you'll see there's a tab here, and there's a slot here, and then there's one here as well. So slot that into position, then flip the head down, and then the final steps are flipping out the hands. And there you have it, my friends. Nemesis packs in his robot mode. Let's take a look at Nemesis packs. And first of all, you have to take a look at that nice head sculpt, and that is spiky and angular and just angry looking. And we have a nice foil Decepticon logo there. Most of this guy is made in color, like the leg pieces here. This silver is that swirly twirly silver plastic, and in the elbows here as well. Now we have some silver paint apps here and here and here, and then a translucent red here that's inset into the chest, and I don't know if there's paint behind that or not. I'm not able to tell. And then right here in the very front of the hips, we have silver paint apps as well, and then some nice, more nice foil stickers here on his shins, and then the silver paint on the face, and then the eyes, and that really does it for the paint apps on the robot mode. Well, the grill here and the lights, the bumper, that pretty much, not a whole lot of paint going on this guy. All the black here is molded in color, and then of course we have the windows here, that translucent red. A little gappy here in the back, and of course you can see the tires, and gappy right here as well. Overall, this is a pretty nice looking figure for what it's supposed to be, which is just the insert piece for another figure. Let's take a look at his articulation real quick. He doesn't look up, he doesn't look down, no chicken neck, no waggle really to speak of. He really doesn't want to exorcist his head, but he can do the full exorcist, and he may or may not come untabbed when you do that. At the shoulder, arm comes out that far, 360-degree rotation. There is a cut here at the upper bicep on a mushroom peg, and it gives you 360 degrees rotation. Double hinged elbow, mostly due to transformation, gives you that much bend. No rotation at the wrist. It will go up and down, but that is due to transformation. Same on the other side as well. Nothing at the waist. At the hips, he can give you that much of the splits. Kicks forward way past 90 degrees. Back that far, this butt flap gets in the way. Does have a cut here at the way upper thigh on a mushroom peg, gives you 360 degrees of rotation. Single hinged knee gives you approximately 90 degrees of bend, rather. And as far as ankles go, there are no ankles. You can get a little bit of toe tilt down like this and up that far, I guess. But mostly that hinge is due to transformation. And that, my friends, is a look at Nemesis packs. It's time for Robot Mode Comparisons Part 1, and here we have the Evolution Nemesis packs with the Evolution Orion packs, and the Deluxe Class Transformers Legacy A Hero is Born 2-pack Orion packs. Here's the power of the Prime's Evolution Nemesis packs with the War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Spoiler Pack number 2 Nemesis Prime and the Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Collection Robots in Disguise 2000 Universe Scourge. Here's the power of the Primes Evolution Nemesis packs with the Titans Returns Legends class Bumblebee and Leader class War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Netflix Walmart exclusive Optimus Prime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our second comedy portion of the program, where I attempt to transform this Transformer. And first of all, let's start with Giza. Let's move these guys out of the way. Or these parts out of the way. So let's transform Giza. He's a sword, or it's a sword. Could be a she, I'm not sure. So, anyway, you split it down the edge of the blade, and you'll notice there's a port here and there's a little post here. It doesn't really hold it in position, but I think it's more to keep it straight. So once you have the blade opened up to 90-degree angles, rotate it, and there we have it. There, my friends, is Giza, the sword bird, all transformed. So let's go ahead, we'll transform that back real quick, because it's not a big deal. So now let's take Nemesis packs and let's see if I can remember how to transform him into the core mode for the trailer. I do believe you just bend the arms up like this, then fold the hands inside, or you can fold the hands inside and then bend it at the wrist. Open it up just a little bit, open the chest up, well, untab the head, because it does tab in right there. It's got a little tab right there, there's a slot for it right there. So untab that, then untab the chest. Then we want to flip the Nemesis Prime head out. Then we want to flip the Nemesis Pack's head in, then close this chest piece back up. Now I think we want to spin the legs around this way and then fold them up. Or I could be wrong. No, it would have to be that way because there's no... That doesn't seem right, because it seems like this is supposed to be there. And this is supposed to be there. Alright. Give me a minute to consult. Alright, now I've fiddled with it a little bit, and it's not like I was thinking it was to begin with. You do just spin the legs around backwards like this, and then these tabs right here will go, then these spaces right here and here. And that's how it locks into position, just like that. I knew it tabbed in, I just couldn't remember how. And even though I did have the directions out here earlier, I put them up. So there we have the core unit of Nemesis Prime. Now let's start on the trailer, which is the main body, and we want to go ahead and remove these two arm blasters, and I'll call it. And since these flaps are open, we're just going to go ahead and leave them open. Go ahead and untab this flap, and you can see tab right here, and there's a slot right here. So you just go ahead and do that on both sides, and then you can bend it here at the knee just a little bit, and you want to separate this top piece and fold it out as such. This top piece of the flap here closes down, and it does that on both sides. And then we'll go ahead and straighten him up at the knees here a little bit. And move the feet down. And we can go ahead and separate. It joins together right here. We'll go ahead and separate it, and I'll say we will. Might not. There we go. Put a little pressure on it. Don't be afraid, but do be afraid, because you might break it, because some of this plastic is a little brittle. So we got a hinge right here. So we want to flip that all the way so that it looks like this. Then this piece we want to flip at a 90-degree, well, yeah, 90-degree angle to this piece right here, and then just fold that on down. And you can see there's a tab right here, and then there's an open slot right in here. Actually, it's a tab right here, and here's the open slot right here, and that just goes into place. And we want to do that again on the other side here, and it works just the same. So now this part, let's go ahead and just move that a little bit so you see the arms twist a little bit, and the gun comes right loose. And we'll set it over out of the way. Now this hinge right here, we want to go ahead and move it out. And while we're doing that, we want to move the arm at the shoulder piece up like this, and close this flap down, rotate the arm like this, and then move it all the way to the back. That flap goes there. There's a tab here and a big slot here, and you just fold that down, and it doesn't really snap into place or anything, but there it is. So there's that arm done. We'll do the same thing over here on this arm. Not like that. Swing it up, close this flap down, rotate, move the hinge, fold this down, and there we go. The last thing we want to do here is right here, I'm going to flip the smokestacks up. So there we have the body of Nemesis Prime. And then here we take this core part. I'm going to spin this guy around, and there's a step I forgot. This post right here where the trailer hooks to the cab, it just flips all the way in like that. So you just take the core piece and line it up. The windows go right in this big hole here, and you just push it on in, and you'll see these pieces right here line up. There's some slots, open slots right here, and these pieces right here next to the horn, they slide right into that to kind of keep it straight, and then give it a good push and you'll hear it snap. Now, once it's snapped into position, when you're transforming it back the other way, there is a switch right here, a button. You have to pull it down and hold it when you remove the core piece. You see this piece right here, and it moves up and down, and that's what locks it into position. So and there we have it, my friends. Nemesis Prime, all transformed. Here's the completed figure, or at least the wholly transformed figure and his accessories, and we won't look at the accessories again in depth, other than how they attach to the figure or how he wields them, storage, that kind of stuff. So we'll slide those out of the way real quick so we can take a quick look at Nemesis Prime himself. And I will go ahead and tell you, this figure, I don't know if it's just mine or if it's a problem with all of them. I don't think I had this problem with my Evolution Optimus Prime, but the ankles on this one are real weak, and I know I could put some wax or something in there to stiffen them up, but I think it's okay. Just when you're posing him, it gets a little annoying. So let's look at that great molded face. I mean, that is awesome. It's supposed to be modeled after the Decepticon logo, and I can definitely see that within this head sculpt. It's got some nice silver paint apps, some nice red for the eyes. So that does it for the head sculpt. He does have these two nice Decepticon foil logos, stickers. Some paint apps right here on the forearm and on the waist. Probably here on the crotch as well. Swirly twirly silver plastic for the upper legs, and then it has this silver paint apps on the shins. And that pretty much covers the paint apps, and of course you can see the foil stickers there. He doesn't like to, that really doesn't like to stay closed all that well. Sometimes you have to force it. Once you get it in there though, it stays usually until you start fiddling with it. So, but let's take a look at his articulation real quick. He doesn't really look up. He can look down that far. No chicken neck. He's got some waggle in there. He can do the full Exorcist. 360-degree rotation at the shoulder. And he can raise his arm. Actually, if you move this flap up out of the way, he can raise it all the way up. You have to go around the pipe as well. Then at the upper bicep, there is a mushroom peg for 360-degree rotation. Single hinged elbow, and gives you that much bend. The arms out. At the waist, there is nothing at the waist. He can give you the full splits, my friend. My friends. Also the hips, he kicks forward that far, so not too much. This piece kind of gets in the way, and then back a little better. There is a rotation on a mushroom peg here at the upper thigh. At the knee, a single hinged knee, and it gives you slightly better than 90 degrees. And then at the ankles, can tilt down, can tilt up, No, well, I was going to say no rocker, because usually these guys didn't have rocker, but he's got rocker in there too. In and out. And let's see, what's the other thing? Ah, the chest does open up. So you can see that. There's actually 2 layers of it to open up. And once you get the outer layer open, you can open the inner layer, and there you can see his dark matrix. And it is removable, but I'm not gonna try to pull it out because it's a little difficult once you have everything all put together. Now, as far as his weaponry goes, his arm blasters, of course, peg right in here into his arm. Same way they pegged onto the trailer. And then he does have 2 swords and his plasma rifle or ion blaster. He can hold it in his hand, the ion blaster. But then he can't dual wield his swords. So what you can do is, you notice back here we've got Nemesis Pack's hand, and you just put that gun in there, and you can spin it around the other way for storage. But if you do it this way, now it's like a shoulder mounted cannon. And you can leave it like that, or you can point it up like that. You know, however you want to display it, really. I, of course, like it like this, shoulder mounted cannon. And then, as far as the swords go, just plug them right into his hands, and there goes those weak ankles I was talking about earlier. And there you have it, my friends. A look at Nemesis Prime in his robot mode and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a Transformers review, part 2. Robot mode comparisons. And here we have the Power of the Primes Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime with the Power of the Primes Leader Class Evolution Optimus Prime. And in the front, just for a scale comparison, Deluxe Class Orion Pax from the Transformers Legacy A Hero is Born 2-pack. Here's Power of the Primes Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime with the War for Cybertron Trilogy Spoiler Pack number 2 Nemesis Prime. And in the back we have the Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Collection Leader Class Robots in Disguise 2000 Universe Scourge. For our final set of comparisons, here's the Power of the Primes Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime with the Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. For final thoughts on the Power of the Primes Leader Class Evolution Nemesis Prime, I have to say, I remember when this guy hit Amazon and he went pretty fast. And I was really, really lucky to get my pre-order, or was it order? I don't even remember at this point. I don't even know if it was a pre-order. I think it was just a straight up order, but I could be mistaken. But I was lucky enough to get this thing in and get it ordered and receive it. And a lot of folks, you know, weren't so lucky. And these really, you know, they didn't do second print of them like they do sometimes now. Of course, that doesn't happen often, but we are starting to see Hasbro realizing, hey, by not reprinting some of this stuff, we're losing out on dineros we could put in our pocket. So we're getting re-releases on a lot of the Seekers that got missed the first time. Of course, it would be nice to see that Skywarp from the Amazon, the Tetrajet version from that Amazon pack with the Battle Masters. It would be nice to see that one reissued. And we did get reissue of Skywarp and Thundercracker 2-pack, the Target exclusive. They did do that a while back. And now they're releasing, is it Dirge? I think it's Dirge again as part of the Legacy Evolution line. So he'll be showing back up in that packaging. So it's good to see that Hasbro realizing they're missing out and there's people that want this stuff in their hands, and if you don't make enough of them the first time, let's get them back out there again. Not to mention the mint in package collectors who have to collect every single one mint in package. So if you're a mint in box collector, you know, you might feel like you're getting messed over on some of these. But anyway, this figure, I feel like I want to say that this figure still holds up to a certain degree. His accessories, except for his ion cannon, do get reused in that Netflix spoiler pack number 2, Nemesis Prime. They get reused there, and although I think they're a little bit big for that mold, you know, it was an easy reuse for Hasbro. Now this guy, he's pretty much got all the articulation that we're getting in our Transformer lines now. He's missing the waist swivel, and he's missing wrist swivel. But you know, other than that, it's all the articulation of a modern Transformer, maybe a little bit more, seeing as how far he can move his arms up over his head. Even though that's due to transformation, you can do it. Not a lot of paint apps on this guy, but like all Hasbro offerings, and I'm not really saying this to be in a bad way, but you know, the less paint apps you put on one, the more paint apps you can put on another one, or maybe get some new tooling. It just depends. So, you know, it makes sense to mold stuff in color where you can and not do as many paint apps. But I think this guy, he's got paint apps where he absolutely needs them. Now, the Nemesis Prime mode here, it is marred a little bit by, as you can see it coming around now, the legs being visible on the back as the backpack, and especially with the waffled edges turned to the outside rather than to the inside. You know, it can be a little bit of an eyesore. Now, the head sculpt on both the Nemesis packs and the Nemesis Prime, I do think are fantastic, and I would like to see them not necessarily use the same mold, but were they to do another Nemesis Prime anytime soon, I would like for them to take the head for this Nemesis Prime and use it as the model to base a new head on, because it really, that Decepticon, it looks like the Decepticon logo, which is what it was meant to look like to begin with. So the final say on this guy, I guess, is that it's still a nice version of Nemesis Prime. There are better ones out there now, but if you like the power of the Primes, this would be your Nemesis Prime. Plus, he's big compared to, you know, we got leader class now. So, you know, this is what leader class used to be. Of course, there's a lot of hollowness on this guy, whereas the new ones, the leader classes, not always as much hollowness. Sometimes there's still a lot, but not necessarily as much as this one. And I do like the gimmick of this one, where it's the core bot of Nemesis Pax, and he evolves into Nemesis Prime. Well, that does it for this edition of From the Toy Box, the first episode of From the Toy Box, and I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. It's fun to take a look back at some older stuff. Thank you for watching this video. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.